Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thy rod and thy staff will comfort me. And now, here's Reverend Sue.
Control. I got Satan on my trail, but I'm singing all is well. He's attacking every day, but I'm watching while I pray. No matter the attack, I won't turn back.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us today. Our guest is Rev Adrienne Ray, and Reverend Ray is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Women of Praise. Women of Praise provides spiritual support for women of color in politics. Now, she earned her BA in political science from Southern Connecticut State University and her MA in religious studies from Howard University School of Divinity. She was awarded the public leadership credentials from the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University and management certificate from Harvard Business School. And she has been, I have been inspired by her reading or her work that she has been doing in the metropolitan area and also throughout this country and throughout this world. So it's always a pleasure to have a guest who's doing so much in our community and doing so much throughout this world that there are so many of us. And I just thank God for her to take time to be with us. So, Reverend Ray, thank you for having this moment with us. And I know a lot has been going on over and over again. You know, Roe versus Wade has been upsetting to all of us. And again, we still cannot give up. And I know that your organization is not giving up. So with that in mind, do you hold the Christian, the Christian right partially or today's responsible for the final push to turn over Roe versus Wade? How do you feel about this, and what are you doing as an organization right now? I know I read the press release that you have and other things that you're doing. So let's talk about basically what is your organization doing in reference to this turnover?
Thank you so much for having me, Rev Sue. I am so happy to be here and to talk with you today. I will say the religious right has been doing what most Christians should do and advocating for issues that are important to them and strongly advocating for those issues that they think impact their lives and the lives of their loved ones and the lives of their communities the most. Now, the religious right, abortion has been a main issue for them for many, many, many years. And they have worked hard to influence policy, influence politics. And we are seeing the fruits of their labor, to be quite honest. So I would recommend that all people of faith are as strong advocates as the religious right is on issues that they care about. This is something that as Christians, we are commanded to do. We are commanded to be involved. We are commanded to advocate for the least of those among us. We are commanded to be participants in the affairs that affect the lives of those that we care about, of our own lives.
Yes. Your organization, Women of Praise, and you focus on women in politics, women in politics, and that would be local and national, I would assume. Do you have any connection with non-professional Black women who would be impacted about the issues, all the things that are happening right today as we speak.
Oh, yes, for sure. The programs that we do, the support that we give, our main focus is women of color that work in politics, because they are the ones that are on the front lines in terms of policy and legislation, creating those policies and legislation that directly impact all of our lives. But we do, all of our programs are, most of our programs are open to the public, and we do have programs and events that are for all women, all women of color, regardless of their profession, regardless of their education, regardless of their any demographic. We have programs that are open to all women. So we don't limit all of our programs to just women of color working in politics.
Reverend Ray, what I've noticed, just talking to quite a few young people, I met with someone last week, I was totally surprised that they are still not registered to vote, and try to educate them the importance of voting in their local community, because we know about the judges and all the other politicians that would have such an impact on their lives and within their city, within the state. So is your organization active in voter registration?
Yes, we are. We are. Since the beginning, since our founding, we have conducted voter registration, voter mobilization, voter education, which is extremely important. And you're right, a lot of Americans are not involved, do not vote, are not educated on the issues, and we are doing our part to help change that. I am hoping that the recent rulings from the Supreme Court and how they've really put the ball in the state's hands will motivate people to vote. But a lot of it is education. A lot of it is educating people on the political process, not on the legislative process, on really just how things work, who holds the power, and how to influence that power in a positive way, so that more people will get the support that they need in order to live a fruitful life.
So do you meet with churches, religious organizations?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yes,
can you talk a little bit about that? Because we have young adults, we have youth and young adults, but youth is what I think would be a great opportunity to educate them at that age. So when they become young adults, they already understand the importance of voting. Could you talk a little bit about how your relationship is with the churches?
Yes, we do a lot of education on issues with churches, because we know that if you are not educated on the issues and you're told to vote, you're not going to vote for what's in your best interest. And we also know that if you don't have the knowledge and the understanding that you need, you're not going to make the best choices just in life. So that educational piece is big, is huge. So we provide resources for churches to educate their congregations on issues that affect them. And we are not partisan. We are nonpartisan. So we do it in a way, we present the information in a way where you get the facts, and then the person decides what they think is best. We also provide information about, for example, in the Christian faith, what the Bible says on different issues. Now, interpretation, there's always a matter of interpretation, and we let people choose for themselves how they want to connect the dots, but we do want to make sure that the information is correct, that they are receiving, the information is available, so that they can do what I believe is our Christian duty and be involved and engaged in politics.
I just have a scenario where a young adult would actually approach you in the position that you have as the president of the Women of Praise. And that person comes to you and said, well, why should I vote? Why should I vote, Reverend Ray? Because some of these supplies and all of these products that we are using, I found out, because they're very wise when it comes to social media. I found out that so many things we use in every day, the owners of these companies actually supported January the 6th, or support things that I really don't believe in from a political perspective. Supported the politician who voted to overturn Roe versus Wade. How will you answer that, young adult?
Well, it's important to get involved. It's important to ask questions. It's important to learn about the process, because politics affects every area of life. Policy affects every area of life, from the local level to the federal level. So many of the things that we rely on has been decided by someone else in a political office. And if you want to truly take ownership of what is going on in your life, you have to pay attention. You have to be involved, because these are some decisions. Some of them seem small. Maybe it's trash removal in your neighborhood that the city council, the mayor, has a role in. But if you don't get your trash picked up, that creates a big problem. It seems like a small thing, but it has big consequences. No one wants to live in an area where, or a house where you have bags of trash and you can't take it anywhere, or you have to travel and you may not have the means, so there's examples on the local level, on the state level, as we're seeing with Roe versus Wade. States are now, the ball is now in their courts. And that is a direct, clear, very recent example on why it's important to get involved, and these issues affect young people. On the federal level with Congress, and this is such a great case study, because you see how with abortion, you see how our lives are being impacted by choices on all levels at all levels of government, from the White House to Congress. President Biden has done a fantastic job in providing support, a rapid response, if you will, to the recent decision. And he has issued an executive order and to provide services, to maintain services for abortion. He can only go so far. Congress now has to come in and develop legislation that can help maintain those freedoms that were protected with Roe versus Wade. So you have to vote. You have to vote for your members of Congress. You have to vote for your president. We are experiencing now the result of a conservative court. And those judges were appointed, and they're appointed for life. They are appointed for life. So I think explaining to young people really what's at stake will help them come to more positive conclusions about being civically engaged. And also those that are in a position to influence and impact, those in media, television, the music industry, athletes, that are people that are in positions of power that the youth look up to and feel connected to. The more that they speak up and talk about it, the more impactful it will be, and we'll start to see people paying more attention.
So that's good, because that's like just how we are. If you show a way that will impact me, connected to me, then I start listening. Oh yes, the trash is going to got me sneezing. It's the trash is
Right.
going to cause illnesses in my family. Yes,
Right.
you right there. I like that a lot. There is your organization is also, and I was really excited about this as well. Will you discuss? It was a program that you talked about as far as men regarding prostate cancer, and as we know today, that's still a part of our community, and many men still are not getting tested. So we just talk a little bit about that.
Sure. And again, we provide programming. Our focus is women of color, but we know that we can't fully support our women without supporting families. And that includes the men in our lives. And that program was to really bring awareness to prostate cancer and to encourage our men to go ahead and get tested, because there's so much to be said about prevention. And a lot of times, by the time we talk about it, we're on the other side of that, where there's now not too much you can do with the situation. So that is extremely important to really, my mother used to say an ounce of prevention, she still does, is worth a pound of cure. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And we believe that with prostate cancer and with so many other illnesses and ailments that we experience, and our communities, Black communities, we experience so many things at a much greater rate than other communities do. So we have to be more proactive.
And I definitely agree, proactive. And that's again, going back to religious organization, our community, to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. And I really appreciate your organization, Women of Praise, is from a political perspective, because they are out there, you all out there every single day, and you see so much, and you're trying to make a difference. Thank you for that. Your organization openly links politics and spirituality and the racial realities of the United States. So why some churches work to keep them separate? Explain how you stay true to the cause, true to the concern. How do you do that? Because I wrestle with that. How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, I think it's biblically, there is a lot of support in the Old Testament and the New Testament for being involved in politics, for being, essentially all politics is the process by which representation happens and choices are made for society. That's really what it is. And the way I interpret the Bible, the way I interpret Isaiah 1:17, the way I interpret the Beatitudes and all the parables of the New Testament, where you have these real stories of how Jesus advocated on behalf of the poor, on behalf of the needy, on behalf of the widows, on behalf of the fatherless, on behalf of the least of these, on behalf of the children, on behalf of the marginalized in society. We are to follow Jesus's example as Christians. This is our duty. So if we have Christ showing by example that, and really telling us that we must do our best to help our neighbors, to love our neighbors. That's the second commandment after love Christ, is to love our neighbors. We can't say we love our neighbors, but we are not involved in helping to make life better for them. Not even better, but even bearable. There are people, especially in our communities, that are living on the margins, that are barely making it in life. We may be the ones living on the margins. I definitely have been there before. And the only way, not the only way, but one of the best ways to positively impact and pull people closer to center, to pull people into the fold and to make them feel, and not just feel, but really be a part of society that feels loved and protected and supported. We have to be involved in the decision-making process of those policies that are directly impacting them.
I think you sum it up absolutely outstanding, Reverend Adjoa. You know what, the thing about politics, I can't say anything else about it, is whereas we have representatives from churches online. Listen to Reverend Ray, exactly what she said. We need to be proactive and not say that politics is not in religion, politics is not in the churches. Read the Bible, and we need to be more active so we can make a change before things happen and we suffer tremendously for years and years and years, and will affect our community generation after generation because we did not vote, because we was afraid or whatever reasons to sit back and let things happen and not do not one thing with it. So we thank you so much for taking the time, Reverend Ray, to be with us today.
Thank you.
Just give us information, maybe in online information that we can contact you as listeners, so they will keep up with you, to follow you, and information that you have as of right now, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Please check out our website at www.womenofpraise, praise spelled with a Z, Praize, womenofpraise.com. And my contact information is there. I'd love to talk to you if you have any particular questions. I'm willing to talk to you about those questions and do my best to share any information that I may have.
And again, to our listeners, it's so important. Now, what's the plan going forward? What is your plan as the women of praise, and what is my plan in with the churches and our young adult? What is our plan to move forward? Because we heard a lot from everybody talking, everybody reading, what we heard about. But what is our plan? So when we pray and God is going to speak to us, it's time that we get up and do something about it, and not let these things happen overnight and we're not aware of it. Things are happening right now as we speak. And as people, we need to know what's going to impact our lives in the future. So Reverend Ray, thank you for taking the time to be with us. May God continue to bless you. And we hope to have you back again.
Thank you so much, Rev Sue. God bless you too. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.